Ever wondered how meticulously an invasion plan is crafted? Let's delve into the invasion of the Kashmir Valley from Pakistan. In any invasion, strategy and tactical insight are paramount. This was especially true in the invasion of the Kashmir Valley. The masterminds behind the operation first sought to break up the state's army into small, manageable groups. They used a series of hit-and-run attacks along the vast frontier with Pakistan. The beauty of this strategy lay in its simplicity. By staging these seemingly uncoordinated attacks, the defending force was compelled to distribute itself into small garrisons. These garrisons, no larger than platoon strength, were spread thin along the entire southern frontier. Now, consider the terrain. It was hilly, and communications were primitive, to say the least. This distribution of the state army into countless small garrisons meant that it ceased to exist as a strong, cohesive force. It could not offer battle to any strong invader anywhere along the frontier. The defending army was thus hamstrung most effectively. A military force, no matter how powerful, is only as strong as its unity, and unity was precisely what this strategy sought to dismantle. But that was just one piece of the puzzle. At the same time, a wave of vicious communal propaganda was unleashed upon the state. The aim was to incite rebellion within the Muslim population in the frontier areas and even within the state army. They were provoked to rebel against the Hindu Maharaja and to commit acts of violence against their neighbors from the minority community. With the defending army scattered and unrest brewing among the masses, the stage was set for the invasion. The blueprint was intricate indeed, but it was also devastatingly effective. But what was the motive behind this meticulously planned invasion? Stay tuned as we explore this further in the next scene. Behind every invasion, there lies a motive. Unraveling the hidden motives behind the Pak invasion of Jammu and Kashmir, we find a complex web of political and economic factors. Imagine a newborn state burdened with the responsibility of sustaining its tribal population. For Pakistan, these tribal people represented an issue left unresolved by the British during the transfer of power. The British had poured substantial amounts from Indian revenues into appeasing these tribes. But for the fledgling state of Pakistan, this was an expense it could ill afford. Here's where the first part of the motive comes into play. The leaders of Pakistan had chosen Islam as the basis of their modern nationality. If they were to treat their co-religionist tribes in the same way the British had, their lofty proclamations would lose all meaning. They needed a solution, and they needed it fast. Then, we see another problem brewing in the northwest frontier province. Badshah Khan, also known as Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, had initiated the Pathanistan movement, a call for autonomy for the Pathans. This was a potential disruptor that Pakistan feared could split the country. It had to be nipped in the bud, and quickly. So we see a desperate Pakistan grappling with economic and political challenges. And then there's Kashmir, a beautiful valley ripe with the promise of land and plenty. It represented a solution to their tribal issue, a way to quell the Pathanistan movement, and a means to secure Pakistan's safety and prosperity. The plan was simple, yet devious. Stoke the passions of the tribal people with lurid descriptions of supposed atrocities against Muslims in Kashmir, promise them the earth, and let them loose on the valley. This, then, was the motive behind the invasion. It was not just about adding another jewel to their crown. It was a desperate attempt to solve internal crises, to kill multiple birds with one stone. And so, with passions aflame, lawlessness rampant, and authority paralyzed, the raiders struck. The invasion was not just a territorial dispute, but a desperate attempt to solve internal crises. With the groundwork laid, the invasion was unleashed like a flood, overwhelming the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The meticulously planned assault was akin to a storm that had been brewing, now ready to unleash its fury. Thousands of tribal warriors, motivated by the promise of land and stirred by the tales of atrocities against their co-religionists, charged across the frontier. This was no ordinary invasion. It was a calculated and coordinated effort that left the defenders scattered and powerless. The terrain, already challenging with its hilly landscapes and primitive communications, only served to exacerbate the chaos. The defending force, previously a united front, was now a scattering of tiny garrisons, each overwhelmed and isolated. They were like sand castles in the path of a tidal wave, quickly swept away by the onslaught. The invasion wasn't merely a physical one, it was an invasion of the mind, of the spirit. Fear, the most potent weapon of all, was sown among the populace. The once peaceful state was now gripped with a paralyzing fear that seeped into every corner, every home, every heart. The lawlessness that ensued served to further amplify the terror, creating a state of anarchy where authority was paralyzed. The invaders were not just warriors, they were an embodiment of chaos, a force of destruction that left devastation in their wake. As they surged deeper into the state, they spread along every bridle road and mountain track like a wildfire that leaves nothing untouched. The state of Jammu and Kashmir, once a tranquil haven, was now a battlefield. The invasion, planned and executed with military precision, had begun in full force. This was not just an act of aggression, it was a strategic move in a much larger game, a game where the stakes were high and the players ruthless. The invasion had truly been unleashed, and its effects would be felt long after the dust had settled. At the heart of this invasion was a military operation codenamed Operation Gulmarg. This operation, planned and executed with precision and secrecy, was the brainchild of the Pakistan Army headquarters. The meticulous planning involved in this operation is a testament to the strategic insight of the orchestrators. Operation Gulmarg was not just a military operation, it was a well-oiled machine designed to conquer. The operation was shrouded in a cloak of secrecy, with orders relayed through personal and top-secret letters. These letters, marked personal top secret, were signed personally by the British Commander-in-Chief of the Pakistan Army. This level of secrecy ensured that the operation would remain under wraps until it was time to strike. The operation was not just about the invasion of the Kashmir Valley, but also about the strategic splitting up of the state's army into tiny groups. This was achieved through hit-and-run attacks along the long frontier with Pakistan. The defending force, in its attempts to control these seemingly uncoordinated attacks, was compelled to distribute itself into garrisons of platoon strength spread very thin indeed along the entire southern frontier. The hilly terrain and primitive communications further complicated the situation, effectively hamstringing the defending army. In addition to the military tactics, Operation Gulmarg also weaponized propaganda. Vicious communal propaganda was turned in full blast at the state, inciting Muslims in the frontier areas and in the state army to rebel against the Hindu Maharaja and to commit atrocities against their neighbors of the minority community. This propaganda served to further destabilize the region and pave the way for the invasion. The invasion of Jammu and Kashmir was not just an act of aggression, but a carefully orchestrated military operation. Operation Gulmarg was a testament to the lengths to which the orchestrators were willing to go to achieve their objectives. It was a clear demonstration of the power of strategic planning and execution in warfare. Unraveling the mysteries of an invasion requires solid proof. Let's explore the evidence that exposed Pakistan Army's direct role in the invasion. At the heart of this unraveling was a key figure, Major Onkar Singh Kalkat. Serving as brigade major at the Banu Frontier Brigade Group, Kalkat found himself in a unique position to uncover the truth. With Brigadier C.P. Murray away at the Morale Outpost, it was Kalkat who received and opened an envelope marked personal. This envelope held within it a series of letters, each marked personal, top secret. The letters were signed personally by the British C&C of the Pakistan Army. This was no ordinary correspondence. These letters were orders, issued within days of Pakistan coming into existence. Their contents? The strategic planning of Operation Gulmarg, the main invasion of Jammu and Kashmir. The sheer weight of this evidence was undeniable. Here were the written orders, meticulously planned, issued from the highest levels of the Pakistan Army. The letters were not just a smoking gun, they were a blazing cannon, firing the undeniable truth of the Pakistan Army's direct involvement in the invasion. These letters were a revelation, a window into the intricate planning of the invasion and the machinations of those who orchestrated it. They unveiled the true nature of Operation Gulmarg, stripping away the veneer of an uncoordinated tribal invasion to expose the calculated military operation beneath. Major Kalkat's discovery cast a spotlight on the shadows of the invasion, illuminating the truth hidden within. It was a truth that would change the narrative of the invasion and reveal the complex geopolitical machinations that drove it. The evidence was clear, tying the Pakistan Army directly to the invasion of Jammu and Kashmir. Every invasion leaves a lasting impact. The aftermath of the invasion of Jammu and Kashmir was no different. The invasion's immediate aftermath was marked by a profound shift in the region's socio-political landscape. The tribal warriors from Pakistan who had swarmed across the frontier left behind a trail of devastation. Homes were destroyed, lives were lost, and the harmony of the region was shattered. The once tranquil valley was now a battleground, a stark contrast to its previous peaceful existence. The invasion didn't just impact the physical landscape, it had a profound influence on the people. The residents of Jammu and Kashmir were thrust into a whirlwind of uncertainty. Fear and suspicion seeped into the very fabric of their society. The communal harmony that once prevailed was replaced by a deep-seated mistrust, a direct consequence of the divisive propaganda employed during the invasion. The invasion not only disrupted the lives of the people but also altered their perception of their neighbors and their sense of belonging. The political landscape of Jammu and Kashmir underwent a transformation as well. The invasion solidified the line of control, marking a clear divide between the Indian and Pakistani-controlled parts of Jammu and Kashmir. The region's political future was thrown into turmoil, with both India and Pakistan staking their claims. The invasion set the stage for a long-standing dispute that continues to this day, with Jammu and Kashmir caught in the crossfire. The status of Jammu and Kashmir was also significantly affected. The invasion forced Maharaja Hari Singh's hand, leading to the state's accession to India. This series of events also led to the internationalization of the dispute, with the matter being brought before the United Nations. The state, which had hoped to remain independent, was now in the middle of a geopolitical tug-of-war. The scars of the invasion remain visible, shaping the destiny of Jammu and Kashmir. Invasions, while destructive, offer valuable lessons. What can we learn from the invasion of Jammu and Kashmir? The first lesson is the undeniable importance of a strong, cohesive military force. The carefully crafted plan of the invaders aimed to disperse the state's army into small, isolated groups, a strategy that proved devastatingly effective. This highlights the necessity for a unified and well-coordinated military. Armies must be prepared to face such tactics, understanding that a divided force is easier to conquer. Next, we see the dangerous power of propaganda. The invaders incited rebellion and violence by stoking religious and communal tensions. This underscores the need for media literacy and critical thinking. It is vital to question the source of information and its intended effect. Furthermore, the invasion highlights the perils of political instability. The partition of British India left many questions unanswered, including the fate of the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. This uncertainty created a vacuum that allowed for the invasion. It reminds us that political stability is crucial in maintaining peace and preventing external aggression. Lastly, the invasion serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict. Thousands of lives were disrupted and communities were torn apart. It underlines the importance of diplomacy and peaceful resolution of disputes. The invasion also points to the evolving role of social media in conflicts. Major platforms are now grappling with their responsibilities during wartime, adjusting policies and navigating uncharted territory. This highlights the need for a systematic approach to handling conflicts on social media, including collaboration with experts and governments to navigate complex geopolitical situations. While the invasion caused much pain and suffering, it also provided important lessons for the future. These lessons, if taken to heart, could guide nations in preventing similar conflicts, promoting peace, and protecting their citizens from the horrors of war. From the initial plan to the aftermath, the invasion of Jammu and Kashmir was a complex and intricate operation. A meticulously crafted blueprint laid the groundwork for this invasion. The strategy was to scatter the state's army into small groups, rendering them ineffective against a stronger invader. Vicious communal propaganda further muddled the waters, inciting rebellion and fostering an environment ripe for invasion. The motive behind the invasion was multifaceted. It was seen as a solution to several pressing problems Pakistan faced at the time. The allure of land and wealth in Kashmir was used to entice the tribal people. A vivid portrayal of supposed atrocities against Muslims stirred them into a fever pitch, ready for battle. The aim was to secure Kashmir, address the tribal issue, thwart the burgeoning Pathanistan movement, and ensure Pakistan's safety and prosperity, all in one fell swoop. The invasion was unleashed with tribal warriors flooding across the frontier. The main assault was meticulously planned and launched by the army headquarters of Pakistan under the codename Operation Gulmarg. The operation was shrouded in secrecy, with orders issued through top-secret letters signed personally by the British Commander-in-Chief of the Pakistan Army. The undeniable proof of the Pakistan Army's direct role in the invasion surfaced from two different sources, revealing the extent of their involvement. The repercussions of the invasion were far-reaching, solidifying the line of control and leaving a lasting impact on the region's political landscape. The lessons learned from this invasion are manifold. It underscores the importance of a systematic approach to conflicts, as highlighted by the challenges faced by social media platforms during the Russia-Ukraine war. It also serves as a stark reminder of the potential implications of military strategies and political decisions on global stability and harmony. The invasion of Jammu and Kashmir serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of military strategy and the far-reaching impacts of political decisions.